Kundalini awakening is one of the most powerful experiences that you can have in your life. It's one of these thresholds that once you cross it, everything changes. But it's not always safe. When you're working with this energy in a way that's careless or reckless, it can lead to anxiety, burnout, spiritual distortion. But when worked with integrity and understanding, it is one of the most transformative experiences of your life. So today I'm going to talk about the 9 dangers of Kundalini awakening and how to walk this path with safety. Hi, I'm Lisa Rachel Snyder. I'm a Kundalini master and the founder of the Kundalini Embodiment method. And everything I share on this channel is coming from my own lived experience. My Kundalini awakening happened on ayahuasca in 2015. It was the most terrifying experience of my entire life to this day. And I came out of that awakening and I had no idea what to do with it, how to integrate it. It was a full awakening all at once, all of the channels open, direct connection to God, complete ego death. And I didn't know how to be a human having just had that experience. And it took me years to stabilize the energy, to feel safe with it. When I talk about the dangers of Kundalini awakening, I'm speaking from experience. I've lived these dangers, I've gotten caught in them, and they're incredibly intense. So a lot of what I do now is supporting people in not getting stuck in these loops and these dangers and working with the energy in a way where it actually enhances their everyday life. It's not just an experience that they've had in some kind of journey, but they stabilize the experience in their own bodies, where it stabilizes their nervous system. It changes their ability to manifest the things that they want. They come into alignment with their truth, and their life comes into greater alignment as a result. The 9 dangers of Kundalini awakening. Before I go through this list, I just want to say that I'm not here to instill fear. I'm here to bring awareness and bring empowerment in this process, because this is something that I wish I had at the time. Danger number 1, nervous system overload. When this energy starts working through the body, it's a lot of energy. And if your nervous system isn't prepared to hold it, it can fry. It can lead to insomnia and anxiety and panic attacks and a lot of fears arising in the body. And this is a process that your system is going through as it's learning to hold this energy safely. So it's not that the energy is wrong, it's that the body simply isn't ready to hold it. And that's why it's really important to do integration practices, grounding practices along the way, working with the parasympathetic nervous system, supporting your system to go at the pace that it can hold as you're stabilizing this energy. Danger number 2, heightened sensitivity and energetic permeability. Usually after a Kundalini awakening, your energy field becomes incredibly porous. You are sensitive to lights, to sounds, to other people's emotions and energies. It feels like you're a sponge to your environment, and a lot of people actually pick up allergies and things like that as a result. This is a part of the process of learning to hold your stable energy field. But until that anchors, it is supportive to be really conscious of the environments and the people and the situations that you put yourself in, because your system is more sensitive than usual as it's learning to stabilize this process. Danger number 3, unprocessed trauma rising. After a Kundalini awakening, the energy starts moving through your system and unlocking all of the stuck energies, including traumas and stuck emotions, because what it's actually doing is it's bringing your whole system in alignment with truth, in alignment with divine energy. So anything that is blocking that starts to come up. And if you don't know how to work with trauma, if you don't know how to move your emotions, then these energies can get stuck and be very overwhelming and scary. So it's important to learn how to allow the energies to move through, to not identify with the stories, to witness them as pure energies so that they can actually release through your system so that you're not resisting them and they can flow through more gracefully. And I actually have a supportive practice for this called the Kundalini grounding practice. It's a part of my free Kundalini Mastery Starter Kit that you can get at the link below. Danger number 4, spiritual bypass and ego inflation. This is kind of 2 dangers in one, but they're related because it's the way the mind tries to cope with this energy that it can't fully understand. So one way is that it rises above the energy, rises above the pain, bypasses it, doesn't actually feel what's going on in the body and actually disconnects from the body as a result of that, which doesn't support you in the integration process. The other is that the ego inflates and thinks, I've had this awakening, I've been chosen, I am this embodied spiritual God, whatever. It is amazing to have this awakening and to have this experience, but what it does is it creates a distortion when it creates this hierarchy of I'm better than because I've had this awakening. So that's just another thing to watch out for. You want to really watch the mind, watch the ego, and make sure that it doesn't go into these types of distortions, but actually allows you to be with the experience, the truth of the experience. Danger number 5, isolation and psychological breakdown. I've worked with clients who have had very intense awakenings and existential crisis. As a result, they feel like no one understands them, their whole ego and identity structure is breaking down, and their whole life starts to break down as a result of that. Friends and family and people don't seem to understand. So it's really important to find support, to find people who understand if something like this is happening to you, because it is actually normal. And when you understand the normalcy of it and learn how to work with the energies safely, then actually all of the ego collapse and identity collapse and all of that is beneficial rather than something that destroys your life. It actually enhances it. Danger number 6, externalizing power and facilitator projection. In many Kundalini activation spaces, the facilitators are taught to put energy into you from the outside. And the dangers with this are that it creates this false sense of power, because the power, the energy, is not outside of you. The Kundalini is already within you. It also creates this dependence between facilitator and student, where there's an entanglement energetically, and both people are not in their sovereignty. And the third thing is that you don't necessarily know what the facilitator is actually putting inside of you. People should not be putting something inside of you from the outside energetically. This is how you can pick up weird things, interferences, entities, false light, these types of things. I've worked with students who have felt very confused after sessions with facilitators who are working in this way. And so it's really important that if you're working with a facilitator, that they are not putting something in you from the outside, but actually supporting your system in awakening from within. Danger number 7, false light and entity interference. So that leads right into this danger, which is that not all energy that feels good is clean. And when you're working with Kundalini, it's actually very common that these entities or false light interferences try to come into your space because you're working with really high frequency energy and they want a body. They want something to attach to. And the danger, especially with false light entities, is that they can feel really euphoric and blissful at first, but underneath it's feeding on dependence and insecurity and confusion. It creates fragmentation. It creates a false sense of hierarchy, a sense that I'm better than because I've had this awakening, or I follow this God or this guide and I'm this kind of channel. But it's disconnecting you from reality. It's disconnecting you from compassion for others. And this is a distortion that actually keeps you from living in truth and keeps you from being fully connected to yourself. So when working with this energy, it's really important to start to understand how to navigate the astral realm, recognizing false light, recognizing different types of entities, and learn how to hold a safe and sovereign energy field. And this is something I'm really passionate about teaching people how to do. Danger number 8, unqualified facilitator trainings. There are many Kundalini activation trainings that are happening in 5 days, 7 days, certifying facilitators in this very short period of time. And just because you've had an activation or an awakening does not qualify someone to safely hold these spaces. Even if you intellectually have been through this training and understand how to do it, the integration process is really important. The ability to hold this energy safely in your body, to understand the ins and outs of it, to understand how to hold a safe energy field in the astral realm. All of these are really key, and this takes time. This is not something that you can learn in 5 days. So when working with a facilitator, it's really important that the facilitator has actually integrated the awakening, understands it in their own body, has moved through their own traumas, their own process before holding an energy field for others. Danger number 9, bliss addiction. While this energy can be incredibly blissful and ecstatic and euphoric and take you to these higher realms where you're floating and transcendent and disconnected from the body, you don't want to get caught there, because this energy is not meant to disconnect you from reality. It's meant to help you come deeper into the body, into the lived experience. The spiritual path is not meant to take you away from the human experience. It's meant to integrate you deeper into the human experience, where you get to experience the bliss, the benefits, the joy, and pleasure of being human and being connected to the divine. So when you get stuck in this blissful state and you disconnect from the deeper experience, the physical body, the sensations, then you're not allowing yourself to fully integrate and let this energy support your daily life. It becomes a peak experience rather than something that is enhancing the day-to-day, the mundane, and bringing genuine fulfillment there. What safe awakening actually looks like. This is why I'm so passionate about teaching Kundalini embodiment, not just Kundalini activation. There are actually 3 stages of the Kundalini awakening process: the activation, which is the unlocking of the channels; the integration, where you're learning to work with this energy and move through the traumas and distortions and fears and feel safe with it; and then the mastery, which is when the energy integrates, you feel whole, you feel connected, you feel embodied, your energy field is no longer porous, it's actually coherent, and you're creating more coherence in the world around you as a result of that. And you can really offer these teachings from a place of mastery because you embody it. You're not speaking from theory, you're speaking from lived experience. If you've had an awakening and you're feeling confused and destabilized and not sure what to do with it, you're not alone. This is actually really common after a Kundalini awakening, to feel this confusion and to not really know what to do about it. And that's one of the reasons why I created this channel, because I wanted to offer real embodied wisdom on this path. I've also created a free Kundalini Mastery Starter Kit that you can get at the link below. And this has tools and resources to support you in stabilizing this energy for yourself. Kundalini awakening is sacred. It's not just a trend, it's an opportunity to connect with your truth, your integrity, your love, and become the walking embodiment of that.